How to read people's mind, understanding body language through ancient wisdom. Welcome to this video on understanding how to read people's minds, not in the mystical or paranormal sense, but by interpreting the nonverbal signals they unconsciously share with us every day. Our body language, gestures, and even the way we hold space can communicate what words often can't. In this session, we'll explore practical tips to accurately read body language, enriched by invaluable wisdom from a meaningful Buddhist story. You'll leave with tools to connect more deeply with people in your life. Let's begin. Have you ever felt like someone wasn't saying what they truly meant? Or perhaps you've noticed subtle signs from someone that something might be wrong, even though their words suggest otherwise. This is the power of body language. It reveals truths that words often conceal. Experts say that between 70 to 93% of human communication is nonverbal. That means our gestures, facial expressions, posture, and even the tone of our voice carry far more meaning than what we say verbally. But why should this matter to you? Reading body language is not about manipulation or guessing someone's secrets. Instead, it's about deepening our ability to understand others on a more meaningful level. It's a vital skill for improving communication, fostering empathy, and nurturing strong relationships. Throughout this video, we'll explore several practical ways to decode these signals, but more importantly, we'll emphasize how mindfulness and compassion can shape the way we interpret these cues. Before diving into specific techniques, it's important to understand the foundation of reading body language: mindful observation and empathy. Too often, people rush to conclusions about others based on stereotypes or personal assumptions. This approach can lead to misinterpretations and harm relationships. Instead, think about reading body language as an act of presence. It requires you to slow down, pay attention to the unspoken, and approach interactions with a mindset of kindness. Emotionally attuned individuals are not the ones making quick guesses. They are those who attentively and compassionately notice the little things. This is where the art of observation meets human connection. Before trying to read someone, remind yourself, what can I learn about this person if I set aside bias? How can I create an environment where they feel understood without judgment? Now, with this foundation in place, let's talk about the practical side of reading nonverbal cues. Start by observing how someone carries themselves. A person's posture often communicates their emotional state. For example, leaning forward suggests engagement or interest. Sitting back and crossing arms might signal defensiveness or disinterest, though it could also simply mean they're cold or trying to find a comfortable position. Slouching may reveal a lack of confidence or disinterest. Paying attention to posture can provide significant clues about someone's mood and level of comfort. The eyes are often called the windows to the soul, and for good reason. They can reveal much about someone's attention and feelings. Direct eye contact indicates confidence, engagement, or honesty. Excessive blinking or looking away might suggest discomfort, nervousness, or avoidance. Dilated pupils have been associated with attraction or heightened interest. Context matters here. Avoid assuming dishonesty if someone is avoiding your gaze. They may simply feel shy or anxious. People's faces are rich with micro-expressions, which are fleeting facial movements that give away hidden emotions. Key areas to watch include tension in the forehead, brow movements, or clenched jaws, all of which can signal stress. Smiles. A genuine smile engages the muscles around the eyes, while a polite or fake smile does not. Lip movements, like pursing lips, can indicate hesitation, nervousness, or even annoyance. Facial expressions are universal, but again, the surrounding context should guide your interpretation. The way someone uses their hands can speak volumes. Open hand movements typically signal honesty or transparency. Hands in pockets or hidden behind the body could indicate discomfort or reluctance. Fidgeting, like tapping fingers or playing with objects, might suggest nervous energy or impatience. By understanding these subtleties, you can pick up on what someone might not feel ready to verbally express. Personal space is a powerful communication tool. How physically close or distant someone is from you can reveal their comfort levels. Standing closer might signal trust or familiarity. Conversely, maintaining distance could reflect a desire for privacy, shyness, or discomfort. Respect personal boundaries to avoid invading someone's space, which could lead to a misunderstanding. It's important to remember that body language cues do not exist in isolation. For example, if someone crosses their arms, appears tense, and avoids eye contact, there's a good chance they are feeling uneasy. However, crossed arms alone can simply mean they're cold. Look at the full cluster of movements to interpret meaning accurately. One of the most critical aspects of reading body language is avoiding assumptions. Body language is highly contextual, influenced by culture, environment, and individual personality. What's considered polite or confident in one culture might be viewed as rude in another. For example, avoiding eye contact could signify respect in some cultures, while in others, it's seen as a sign of dishonesty. Similarly, someone fidgeting during a conversation might simply be distracted, not necessarily nervous. Keep in mind that body language should supplement verbal communication, not replace it. Ask clarifying questions if you're unsure about someone's emotions or intentions. Let's pause to take inspiration from an ancient Buddhist story that beautifully illustrates the power of observation and presence. There was once a wise Buddhist monk who lived in a small monastery. One day, his disciple asked, "Master, how can we truly understand others, especially when they don't speak their feelings aloud?" The master didn't reply immediately. Instead, he invited the disciple to sit with him quietly in the monastery garden. Together, they watched a group of travelers who were resting nearby. The master pointed to one of them, saying, "Look at the way he places his hand on his companion's shoulder. Notice the ease in the way he moves and gestures. What do you think it tells you?" The disciple hesitated before replying. He seems calm and supportive, but also protective of his companion. The master smiled. "Yes, you see, observation isn't about making grand conclusions. It's about noticing the subtle language of the body while keeping your heart open to others' realities." This story reminds us that reading someone's body language isn't about finding fault or seeking control. It's about showing up, fully present, and allowing what we observe to speak for itself. The wisdom of this Buddhist story ties seamlessly into modern psychology. Combining mindfulness with the practical techniques we've covered can help you not just read someone, but also connect with them authentically. The next time you're in a conversation, consider this. Practice observing subtle body language without rushing to conclusions. Focus on being fully present and listening without distraction. Use the cues you observe as an opportunity to ask questions or offer empathy. For instance, if you notice someone fidgeting or avoiding eye contact during a conversation, instead of assuming they're uninterested, you could ask, "Are you feeling comfortable? Would you like to take a break?" These small gestures make others feel seen and valued. At this point, you might be thinking, but isn't reading body language open to errors? Yes, and that's what makes mindful interpretation so important. People are complex, and their body language can reflect multiple layers of emotion, environment, and personality. Misinterpretations can happen when we rely too heavily on one gesture without considering the overall picture. For example, a calm demeanor might hide nervousness, or a lack of eye contact could stem from cultural factors. To prevent bias, always pair body language cues with verbal communication and context. Approach observations with curiosity rather than judgment. Remember that every person is unique. What applies to one won't always apply to another. By practicing thoughtful interpretation, you'll gradually refine your ability to read and connect with others. Today's journey has shown us how powerful body language can be in deepening our understanding of others. From mastering tips like observing posture and facial expressions to exploring the wisdom of a Buddhist story, you now have the tools to become more mindful, empathetic, and attuned to the hidden language of gestures. Remember, body language is most meaningful when viewed in clusters and paired with context. Mindful observation is key to decoding signals accurately. Empathy allows you to form deeper, more meaningful connections. So, as you move through your daily interactions, I encourage you to notice what often goes unnoticed. Look closer, listen deeper, and embrace the subtleties of human communication. By doing so, you'll uncover an entirely new way to connect with both the people around you and the world within.